As shown in other videos, variables can be very useful in automation. In this video, let's discuss how to use variables with the loop dataset activity. This activity allows you to take a result set and execute activities for each row of data. Now this version is going to demonstrate how to use the loop dataset for Toad data point 3.3 and later. There's another video for older versions. The reason for this is this area has changed quite a bit, and from 3.3 on is a lot simpler. So I've made two different videos. So make sure you watch the appropriate video for your release. Alright, so where would this technique be useful? So let's take a look here. If you had a list of, say, regions, here's an example of a set of regions, you might want to generate a report for each region and then send it out to, say, the head of that region. Each report would contain data only for that region. So I would have a query like this that would have a bind variable, and it would filter out the data for each region. So central is one of my regions. So for each region in this query, we would want to execute this query with a filter. So this is what we're trying to replicate in the automation activity. So how do we do this? So first we need to add a loop dataset activity. It's down here in the systems activity, and we just click on it here. So this activity takes a query as an input, and when it executes it, it puts the result not in a file, but into a dataset variable. So here is the name of the dataset variable. This dataset variable name has been supplied to you. It's based off of the name of the activity. And if you want to change the name of it, just change the name of the activity by right-clicking and changing the name. You choose your connection as usual, and then you would enter in your query. Let's just go ahead and grab this query from here. This is my driving query in our example, and I'll just put it in here. Alright, so now this part, the child activity area, is the area that you would drop in your activities. These would be executed one time for every row of this top driving query. So for our example, let's just do a select a file. So let's go ahead and grab our filtering query. Let's grab this here, and we'll just copy it in. Let's give ourselves a little bit more area. Now what has to change here though is this binding name. We need to bind to the loop dataset variable that was created here. This. So this is the dataset from, that's the results of this query. So we want to go down here, and what we want to bind to is the row and column of this dataset. So in this case, I want to use the region name, that's the column, and when it's executed, it will replace it with the current row value. Now I want to also put whatever my export is, and I actually can use the name of that row or that actual cell. Now over here though, I have to surround it by pound signs, and that's because I'm dereferencing the variable over here. Over here I'm sending it to the database, so I can't use the pound signs. I got to use the syntax for the database, which in this case is a colon. This is Oracle that I'm doing. So let's just take a look and see what happens. We'll go ahead and save this script and we'll run it. And it's as simple as that. So if I kind of scroll through my script, I see that I exported the first result set, which was filtered by the northeast region, and that's all the rows. This report only contains northeast region rows. and I can scroll down. I see I do the same for the southern region, same for central, and same for west, and the last one is other. So the loop datasets give you the ability to generate a batch of reports based off of a driving query. It's much simpler now in Toad Data Point 3.3 and beyond, so I hope you find this useful.